Good morning, everybody out there in TV land. Good morning, everybody out there in Radio land. Hello, everybody out there in Radio land. I got my mic on. What do you know? Everything is rolling here at 4680Q Radio. Technically in the morning, I guess. It's 11:58 or something like that. So I could say good morning. My name is Paul K. Lanier. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, in the beautiful studios of 4680Q. And what a day out there. It's a cooker in the studio here. This is all glass. You can see right out, and the sun turns it into a greenhouse. I have the window open. It doesn't matter. It's still hot in here no matter what. And there's going to be a lot of hot topics here today. I've got lots to talk about. But what a day yesterday, 60 degrees. Unbelievable. We are into it now, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We're here. The rodent was right. 6 weeks. It was 48 degrees when I got up this morning at 5 o'clock. Unbelievable. And I'm not going to argue with Mother Nature on this one. Thank you very much, Mother Nature. I'll tell you that right now. I got my car washed. It's all happy. Everything is good in the hood. And yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of different things. But what's dominating the news right now is this tariff war. And it seems like my shows now are all about tariffs and what's going on between the United States and Canada. And basically, that's what's dominating the news. There are a few other stories in there. And next week will probably be different because we have a city council meeting. And that always brings some new information and craziness. But yeah, we're going to talk all about it today here. Some Facebook funnies, some viewers' comments, the whole 9 yards we're going to get to today. But first, my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. So we see this weather and we're going, yeah, this is it. This is it. We're there. It's nice. So what do? We take our car in, get the winter tires off, get them swapped over to summer, get our car ready for the summer, make sure all systems are go, make sure our air conditioning is working. Yeah, you don't want to get caught. Like right now in the studio, I wish I had air conditioning. Unfortunately, the heater's on. But yeah, you want to make sure all the systems are working. You want to be proactive. You don't want to be reactive. Ken Hunter will throw your car on his diagnostic equipment, tell you what's wrong with it, if anything, and fix them right away. And if you get in a wreck, don't worry. He's got a full body shop to take care of you. Comes in wrecked, goes out in showroom condition. You can't beat that. And I know Ken, when it comes to this time of year, he's always looking to have a summer inspection or something like that so he can cover all parts of your car, brakes, the whole shot to make sure that your car is running tip top. And I like to have a brake service done only because at the end of the day, you know what? It costs a lot more to replace rotors and pads than it does to have them working properly and not seize up. Just a little tip from me. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Go see Ken. He's going to take care of you. And we thank you for supporting our sponsors. I was going to have a drink of water here. But I want to encourage everybody to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Come on. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. But the more subscribers, the more the video gets out there and the more people see it, which is good. We want people to see it because at the end of the day, we got elections coming up, but we want people to turn out and know what's going on. That's what we would like to see. So, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Comments. I always talk about comments on the show. Come on, get involved. Get involved. It's the least you can do. Get involved. Okay, never saw any limericks come in. I'm still waiting for some limericks. And I'm going to start you off with one here today. There once was a mayor named Jim. Fill in the rest. Fill in the rest of the limerick. There it is for you, the starting thing. Come on. You can think of some good limerick stuff, right? Okay, let's talk about our Facebook funnies. It appears several Facebook pages have lifted my suspensions. Remember when I said yesterday I was suspended on all these pages? And I'm back in action on those pages now, which is great. I don't know why I was suspended in the first place. But whoever admins these pages decided they didn't like me. But I'm back in action. And it said I was suspended until March 14th, so I must have got a commutation of my sentence from the administrators, and I thank them for that. Thank you so much, getting me back on. I love having my announcements on there for the show, and then my videos after I usually put up on the pages as well. And I'm still not sure what caused the anguish and pain to the point that they suspended me. I don't get it. I'm sure eventually somebody's going to tell me. I don't know. Maybe they just don't like Trump, and me, I like Trump. There really was no message just telling me what bothered them or why they gave me the big suspension. But I'm back. Woohoo! And you know what? I don't give a right date. Or it should be this way. I'm looking at it backwards. I don't give a blank. Okay, there you go. Here are comments. Few comments from yesterday's show. Nothing huge here. I was going to leave them till Thursday, but you know what? I think I'm just going to read them off today and call it a day. And oh boy, that was almost an accident right there. People jamming on their brakes in the middle of the street here with people right on their butt. She almost got wiped out by a truck. But that's when you do when you drive stupid. At Dave Wheeler, 1158. Jersey is a British term, circa 1840, for sports apparel. Now that's in reply to the comment I made that Canadians are so worried about being Canada and buying Canadian and doing everything Canadian. Perhaps they should just start using the right terminology. And in Canada, this girl's going to get in an accident. She don't know how to drive. I want to see her license. Yeah, in Canada we call it a sweater, a hockey sweater, circa 1909, Montreal Canadiens, and it's called a sweater because that's what they used to be, sweaters with a logo on it. So we call them sweaters in Canada. Wheels. If you're Canadian and hurting because of tariffs and want nothing to do with the United States, which everybody's crying and whining about online, this is the way to get back at the Americans. Use the Canadian term, sweaters. How about that? Okay. Dave Wheeler at 1158. Carney will call the election without Dingaling Singh. Well, he didn't call him Dingaling Singh. That's what I call him. Without Singh. Well, he certainly can. See if he does call it early or waits until the October election day or even extend it a year. Who knows? I mean, they can extend it a year too. I found that out. Somebody told me. Just declare some kind of an emergency and away you go. Now, we are assuming, though, that Trudeau will step down. I haven't heard that he's stepped down yet. There's that. People are posting it all over the internet, but he hasn't. I've been looking for him to step down, to give his resignation, his step down orders, or whatever. But I haven't seen it. I don't know if somebody out there knows something I don't. I've been watching the news. I haven't seen that he stepped down. And yeah, when he announced that he was going to step down, that was just, he said he was going to when there was a new leader elected. Well, that's happened, and he hasn't stepped down yet. So I guess we're anticipating him stepping down this week. I would say that would be reasonable, but I haven't seen any announcements that he's going to do it. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, he don't have to step down if he don't want. He's prime minister, right? Who cares about the party leader? That's for next election. That's for the next election. He's going to run for the party, but he's still in charge, believe it or not. And he's probably still giving money away to Ukraine and promising boots on the ground. At Dave Wheeler, 1158 again. Dave Wheeler, right into the video. China has said it wants to take Taiwan by 2027. Wow, that's a big statement right there. And China's been saying they want to take Taiwan for a real long time. No doubt they do, Dave. But I think the U.S. will have something to say about that ambition when the SH-T hits the fan. The Chinese are going to have more money to do it because they're hammering the Canadians with 100% tariff on Canadian agricultural goods and 25% on other goods. So they're up in their tariffs too. But you know what's funny? Why is nobody complaining about that? It's funny. They're only whining about Trump and the Americans. But you don't hear them talking about the carbon tax that's coming April 1st or the liquor tax that's automatically going to be put on booze. They don't talk about that. And they don't talk about China, who just slapped them big time with tariffs. They don't even care about that. I guess they don't mind Chinese. They just hate the Americans and Trump. I don't get it, but I digress. The Orange Man Bad Syndrome and TDS runs rampant in Canada. It's crazy. It's crazy the comments you see on Facebook and that about the Americans and you want to get along with the Americans and trade. They're our biggest trading partner and friends for life and everything else, but yet they continually disparage them. We're not going over to the shop. We're not going over that. Well, you know what? The Buffalo Sabres game the other night was half Canadians and half Americans. So, you know what? Most of the Canadians are great at virtue signaling. Oh, they're great at virtue signaling. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they do what's best for them. They want to go watch a hockey game. Can't afford to go to Toronto. So what do? Go to Buffalo where it's a little bit cheaper, even with the exchange. They have a good time eating their wings and everything else. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. Virtue signaling people who are going to do what they want. And believe me, as soon as it starts getting cold here, they're going to jump on a jet and they're going to be in Florida or somewhere warm. Let them go to Florida. They have places there. Even though they say they're supporting Canada and everything else, when they go in the store, they're not looking at every item to see if it's Canadian. They'll tell you that. I'd like to go to the grocery store. I got to send my Doge guys to the grocery store and look through people's carts. Can I look through your cart and see how many Canadian items you have? They'll probably run away because they know they're not. You know how many hours it would take to go through a grocery store and just pick out stuff read every label in that? No. I got to get out of here. I need chips. I need this. I need that. I don't look at no label. Oh, look at this. Miss Vicky's. They made in Canada or United States. No. It doesn't happen. I don't care what they say. I don't care what these people tell you. They're not doing that. They wouldn't get out of the grocery store for 3 hours. You think it was bad during COVID with all the arrows and lining up outside under false pretenses? Go in there and start looking through every item at the label. Come on, get serious. But they're really upset. Says one resident, my family diligently checks that anything we purchase has no affiliation with the USA. I will never cross into the USA again. I will vacation elsewhere, possibly Mexico, that is also suffering under the provoked attack from the USA, by the way. Yeah. Okay, well, you know what, buddy? You're probably on Facebook saying this too. I saw it in the review. You're probably on Facebook, and who's that owned by? Boop, boop, cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah, that's right. That's right, baby. That's right. Another strong message. I feel absolutely betrayed by the USA, who I have admired and befriended all those years. Totally betrayed. All this time, I thought the USA had our backs as we had theirs. Fool me once. We Canadians are a strong, resourceful bunch of determined people. Oh, I'm getting choked up. Determined people that have come together from around the world to make our great nation, and we will never submit or give way to any kind of bully. If it's not Canadian, I don't buy it, eat it, wear it, use it, look at it, watch it, consider it, smell it, want it, or need it. I think the message is pretty clear. So he's not going to be going on vacation. Vacation anytime soon, I guess. I mean, there are no commercial jets made in Canada. So even if he thinks by flying Air Canada, he's going to be doing Canadian. No. He's flying on an American jet, American-made jet or a European-made jet. So now he's got to go to Air Canada and only fly on Airbus, I guess. He can't fly on Boeing or any other American manufacturer. There's no TVs made in Canada, so the TV is watching is made in Japan or somewhere, Taiwan or somewhere. There's no programming on TV except CBC. His car's got to go. All car companies are foreign owned, no matter if they're built in Canada or not. You won't be able to breathe if the wind's blowing from Niagara Falls, New York, coming from the west, because you'll be breathing American air. Seriously, hate to say this, but these people are off the hook crazy. And you know what? Nobody's blaming our politicians. Nobody's blaming our weak border policies that have allowed Canada to become a corridor for drugs and terrorists. Nobody is talking about the tariffs that have been in place for a half a century or more on U.S. goods coming into Canada. Yeah, there's tariffs. Sure, there is. Giving Canada an unfair advantage in protecting Canadian goods and industries. They forget all about that in their conversations. That doesn't matter. It's the 25% Trump orange man bad is put on. There's been tariffs for years. Nobody was complaining. And the same person who was complaining about that never complained about China not buying Chinese goods anymore. Look at all the labels. They're not traveling to China. Well, who wants to go there anyway? But personally, I couldn't care less about their hate of the U.S. I'm going to Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm going to go to Florida if I feel like it. I'm going to enjoy all the U.S. has to offer. Nothing personal, just business. No boycott here. Nope. If Canadian politicians cannot come up with anything better than escalating a trade war, that's where the blame should lie, not with the USA protecting their country. Oh, yeah, and I'll suffer through higher prices and a low dollar. But at that point, I've suffered my whole life because of that. Canadian prices have always been higher than in the US for food, staples, milk, butter, eggs, gasoline, booze. That's part of a Canadian living on the Canadian border, ripped off by our own people every opportunity they get. It adds insult to injury, ripped off by our politicians who tax everything so high that they kill us. You can go buy Canadian booze in the US cheaper than in Canada. Go figure that one out. And there's only one reason: taxes. That's it. Cost Hiram Walker same to make a bottle of Canadian Club in the States or in Canada, but it's $20 cheaper for a bottle in the United States. Why is that? Did you ever think of why? Such a bargain over there? Well, it's because of taxes. The government rips us off. Excuse me. So, I mean, we're ripped off by the government, ripped off by the people. They'll use any excuse they can to raise prices. We know that. I mean, we've seen it on gasoline all the time. Oh, there was a hurricane in the Gulf. Gas prices got to go up. Nonsense. Oh, Saudi Arabia cut production. Gas prices got to go up. Nonsense. If you really had injury, insult to injury, I should say, is that Canada has a lot of oil. Why are we even buying oil from Saudi Arabia? Why can't we just supply Canada and Canadians with oil and give us a break on the price of gas? So don't be so quick to blame the U.S. and Trump for everything. That's all I'm saying. Now Canadians, PP wants to axe the tax, which is a great idea. But why not get a Doge? Why not hire Doge? And see, I don't understand PP's campaign now, because he said, I stand with Ukraine. Sorry about that. I got the hums in here. It's hot and it's dry in here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open that door a little bit. I can't breathe. But, excuse me. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's past old hot in here. It's got to be 100 degrees in here. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know why PP don't set himself apart. What he's doing is, I stand with Ukraine, which he should not have said that. That's a big That's a no-no right now. He should have said, as a conservative, I stand with Trump and peace. That's what he should have said. He says, I stand with Ukraine. He's just taking the liberal line, and that's him. All he is a light liberal. Blue light. Blue liberal. He's going to blow this. He's going to blow this election. He had a huge lead. Carney's here. And what's he going to do? He's going to be exactly like Carney, and people are going to vote for Carney. Carney's already got the votes packed away. He's already got the votes packed away, believe me. He's there for a reason. So the only way PP is going to win is stick to the right, and he's going to have to say things that are like Trump, very Trumpian. Right? And he's got to stop the chest pounding. He's got to understand that Canadian people want lower prices, lower taxes, axe the carbon tax. He's got to make promises like that and do it if he gets in. And Doge would help a lot to find government efficiency. And he's got a guy, Kevin O'Leary, who wants to do it. He doesn't want to help Canadians get into a bigger trade war. He's got to get away from that. That's what the Liberals are doing, and the NDP, and the Liberal Doug Ford. He's got to stay away from that. He's not going to win. If he stays on that course, he is not going to win. Mark my words. Mark my words. He's got to come out with Doge, axe the tax, out of the Paris Accord. He's got to do the things that got Trump elected. Do the things that are good for people, for the people of Canada. He's got to follow Elon Musk with his Doge dividend. He's got to meet with these guys and find out how they're doing it for Canada so we can do it in Canada. These are things he has to do. He's got to separate himself from the Liberals, and he's not doing it. Trump got elected on those very, very, very principles, on that platform. He's got to do it for Canadians because the Liberals won't and the NDP won't. So that's what's going to make him stand out. Oh, yeah, we brag about our cousins over the river for cheaper drinks, groceries, gas, entertainment. We use them and brag about it. But when they say enough is enough, we get mad. We turn on them. They're our enemies. Truth is, we've been taking advantage of them for a long time. And Canada needs a shakeup. They need a shakeup exactly like Trump. Don't mind me, I got an itchy nose. Oh, man, it's tough in this studio. I'm telling you. This is rough in here. Yeah, it's always poor Canada, we're getting abused, poor Canada, but they've been abusing people for a long time with tariffs. And now they're called out on it, and and they don't like it. I mean, geez, people are sitting waiting a year for an MRI and another year for their operation on their knee. Go over the river, you can get an MRI done tomorrow and an operation done in 2 weeks. Why wouldn't you want access to that? Why wouldn't you want to help that? Why wouldn't you want cheaper gas prices and lower prices on everything? And our rich cousins asked us if we wanted to move in with them. Come on, move in with us. Got room for you. We said no. Out of pride, we said no. So now we look over the border wondering what might have been if we accepted their offer. It's still not too late, Canada. You can read the full article in the review thanks to race reporter Ray Spiteri. Go in there and read it. He's always writes a great story, and he wrote a great one then. So go see it. Read the review. They got some great stuff in there. But yeah, Bolivar, if he wants a win, he's got to be Trumpian. He's got to tell the people he's going to go in there, save them money, straighten things out, lower their taxes, all the good stuff, and then he's got to do it. Now, that's the problem. Can he do it? And, of course, how's that going to play? He worries about how that plays to people, but he can't worry about that. He's got to separate himself from the Liberals now. This race is a lot closer, I think, than people realize. If this guy calls an election, the polls, the only poll that counts is at the end of the voting. And who voted for who. So he's got to differentiate himself. He's got to get Trumpian, because the liberals are not going to ever go that way. They have TDS. They hate Trump. Singh hates Trump. They all hate Trump. The only thing he can do, it's the only way he's going to differentiate himself. If people say you're crazy, he's going to lose if he does that. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. He's going to lose if he doesn't. So what's he got to lose by trying it? Yeah, he's got to. Over to my second sponsor, and that is Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And, if you want a good pizza, give Pete's Pizza a try. Mike knows how to make a pizza on Victoria Avenue. I'm telling you. He gets the Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust. He uses the best mozzarella, Saputo mozzarella, the brick cheese blend. Gets it on the pizza just right, in the right ratio to the sauce. So you can taste the sauce, you can taste the cheese. It's fantastic. He cooks it just right. He gets it out of that oven fresh to you, uses the freshest ingredients. You can't beat a pizza from Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. How do you get one? Oh, very, very simple. 905-374-2222. Order one today. And you know what? They're not one-trick pony. They have great wings. If you like wings, they got fantastic wings. Steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, panzerotti. They have a full menu. If you're not a fan of pizza, you might be a fan of all their other items on that menu. So give it a shot. Give it a shot. Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca. Order yours today. Open till 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday for your convenience. Yeah. Support our sponsors because they support the show and they support the city. So yeah, what's got to happen is now is these guys got to get their act together. Threatening and bullying and that kind of thing isn't going to work against Trump. If they try any monkey business, he's just going to raise tariffs even more. And you know what? At the end of the day, he just wants the borders issue settled. And as soon as he sees that, the tariffs are going to go down. Like he said, April 2nd now. He's given us a chance. He don't want tariff wars. I mean, that's not good for business. It's not good for Americans. It's not good for Canadians. So this is what he don't want. He don't want these tariff wars, but he does have to protect America. Now, Niagara Tourism really is not that concerned about the tourist season. Right now, they're fine because luckily the USA is not boycotting Canada like Canadians are boycotting the USA. But they may catch on. They may catch on. The tourist season is still a few months away. They may catch on before. They might start boycotting Canada, and that wouldn't be good. But so far, it looks like the Canadian peso, because it's so low against the American dollar, is going to have a great effect on American tourists coming over the border. And it looks like the border crossings are going to be up. They're having a really good look at it and saying it looks good for the season. We get about 3 million visitors from the U.S. every season. 25% of our tourism is American. And that's your rubber tire traffic coming down the 90 and the QEW from Windsor, Michigan area. A lot of rubber tire traffic coming into town in the summer. We don't want to lose that. That's about 25% of our tourists. And if people don't shut up and quit saying they're boycotting Canada, I've got Americans that watch our pages on Facebook and then watch everything, and they're up in arms. They can't believe it. They're going, "What the hell? What do we ever do to them?" Right? And they don't like it. They don't like it at all. And they're talking about the booze situation, pulling it off the shelf and everything else. And I mean, there's a lot of people on the border who, cater to Canadians. A lot of the pizzerias over there, a lot of the liquor stores over there, a lot of the bars over there. We grew up over there. So they're not appreciating what's going on, and they may just stay away. So, we may lose some of that business if we keep this up. Now, the tourist operators say that Canadians staying in Canada will make up for it. But there's a lot of nice places to go in Canada. You don't have to come to Niagara Falls. If you're up by Barrie or something, the natural move is to the north, to go up north, enjoy the lakes and everything else up there. It's just gorgeous up there in the summer. And forget about Niagara Falls. They can go a lot of places. They don't have to come to Niagara Falls. So you're depending on them coming down the QEW to Niagara Falls, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna reap the benefits of what you think is going to happen. So that's wonky. But we know one thing: year after year, 25% of our business does come from the United States, and we don't want to lose that, especially with Canada being the premier place to go as a tourist in Canada. I mean, it's looking like a great season, but things could change real quick. We saw that during COVID. All of a sudden, there was no tourist season. You got to just stay tuned for this one as trade wars heat up and Ford and Carney do more stupid things to hurt Canadian tourism, Canadians in general. Yeah. Oh, my nose is so itchy, everybody. I don't know. I've got this itchy nose. Does that mean I'm going to get money or something? What is that? Somebody who's into old wives' tale, tell me, there was a man with an itchy nose. So the story goes. Okay, so it looks like to me the Niagara Regional Police are getting body cameras. And I think it's a great idea. Does anybody out there dislike that idea? I think body cameras are great. Most big cities have them. Most police forces have them now. And they really do become invaluable in confrontations with the public. You can have your say whether you think they're great. They're a great way to monitor police and the public interactions. They want your input. They're going to hold police accountable for their actions when dealing with the public and increase the safety. There are 6 open houses regarding this to express your opinion on these body cameras they're getting. I think they're a great idea. There's so many altercations with police where they get accused of this and that and that. Well, the cameras will straighten it out. They'll tell the true story. And I think it makes the police more accountable, more aware of their situation and how they're treating the public. It's not, like, when it's your word against theirs versus here's the video. Yeah, exactly. But there's going to be 6 open houses about this. The one in Niagara Falls takes place at the Gale Center on Friday, March 28th for 2 sessions, 9 in the morning till 11 in the morning, and then 4 in the afternoon till 6 in the afternoon. And there's an online survey. You can just find that by Googling it. You find the online survey to answer some questions to get some of your thoughts. So at the end of the day, I think it's a great idea. And I don't know if I'll get to the meetings, but if I do, I'll let you know what they're all about. If I don't, I'm sure Ray Spiteri, Ace Reporter, will tell you. But if you go personally, let me know. I know some people who probably would be interested. And if you go, let me know. I'd love to talk about it on air, how it went, what they talked about. I don't know why they're having public meetings. I would say that it's going to be an issue of privacy and that kind of thing. Turning these things on and getting your picture and you on camera. When there's any interactions, that's probably what's going to be the issue is the privacy laws and that kind of thing. But I think they're important. I think we see more cases of alleged police abuse, and this is a great way to keep them in check and solve the problem. And on the other hand, there's a lot of people who abuse the police, and at the end of the day, we want to see that as well. It goes both ways. The cameras go both ways. They really do. A lot of people carry cameras and have cameras in their car right now for just that reason. So, as a private figure out in public, they can film you. As a public figure, you can film them, and there's nothing they can do about it. They do work for us, the police. Remember that. So, Mark Carney versus Pierre Poilievre. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. the basic game plan from Poilievre has been served up to Carney. He knows what he's going to be doing. Poilievre's been made his plans pretty clear how he's going to run the country. And we know that the PM's chair has to run through Ontario. And Ford has really shown Carney the way to win. He really has. And his way is to hate Trump, threaten everyone every time you can, and especially if you're going to threaten Trump against him and his tariffs, and portray the USA as an enemy, and you win. Easy peasy. That's what happened with him. People think he's a hero. He stood up to the big bad orange man, and he's going to throw tariffs on, even though if it's a stupid idea. It doesn't matter. The idea that Canada proud, we're gonna. Hey, listen, like there's the tail never wags the dog. But if he wants to portray himself as the dog wagging the tail, and that everything he's going to do is going to work, and Trump's going to be broken, and America's going to go broke and won't be able to survive. It reminds me of these people who work at a corporation, and they think they're invaluable. Oh, they can't run without me. They fire me, they're going to be in big trouble. I've heard that so many times. Yeah, they fire me, they're going to be in big trouble. They can't fire me. And then the guy comes down and says, you're fired. And you know what? I've never seen a big corporation come down and break down and go bankrupt because one of their managers is fired. I mean, Budweiser even weathered the Bud Light storm when their CEO did that stupid thing with Dylan Mulvaney or whatever the name was. I mean, they even survived, and Bud Light's still around, and people are still drinking it. I don't know how they weathered that storm. They lost a lot of profits from it, but they weathered. So listen, nobody's important. You're just a number. Doug Ford, you give yourself more credit than you think you have. You're not going to break the states. One person isn't going to break the states. Believe me. No matter what you do, and we'll talk about what he said he's going to do. Now, Carney is doing just that. He's threatening to escalate the war with the President Trump and continue the Orange Man bad message. And that, for some reason, gets Canadians going. They love it. They want a trade war with the U.S. Now, that's because Trump derangement syndrome runs deep in Canada. I mean, it's really dumb, but hey, our politicians are really dumb, so it all works out. So what's Pierre Poilievre going to do? Well, he takes that same stance. Then it comes down to the media and Carney. I mean, he's touted right now as the person most able to deal with the big bad orange man. So guess what's going to happen? If you try to play that with Carney, you're going to lose. The media is going to pump him up. Bank guy, finance guy, yeah. They're going to pump him up to the nth degree, and they're going to knock you down. That's what the media in Canada does. They're all left-wing liberals, bought and paid for by Trudeau. You're not going to beat them that way. You got to take a different stand, like I said. His only choice, and the choice that he's got to make fast, with no apologies, is to stand with Trump for peace in the Ukraine and emulate what Trump is doing in the United States in Canada. He's got to prove that he is the only one that can deal with Trump and get the deal that Canada wants, that's good for Canada, and that this trying to beat him with tariffs and beat him with boycotting and everything else, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The problem is PP never took a real far right stand in the first place, and now he's in the middle. He has nothing. He has nowhere to go. So he's going to have to slowly creep over with his words. The I stand with Ukraine was a bad thing to say. He should have said, I stand for peace, even if he didn't mention Trump. I don't stand for either one of them. I stand for peace. That's the message he should have sent. I mean, as soon as he says, I back the Ukraine, he's backing a cocaine addicted, money laundering criminal dictator instead of a guy who wants peace. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, how is he going to possibly beat Carney at his own game? Is anybody going to vote for Carney light? This Carney really hasn't even started yet. Wait till he gets on there and starts hammering PP. I figured it was over for the fraudulent black-faced person, and that PP was going to take over. But, every day I think about it, I think less and less that PP can win this. Seriously. It's a problem in Canada with the Liberals. They got bought and paid for voters, minority groups, special interest groups, millions of immigrants, and millions of public service unions who they gave sweetheart deals to. I mean, the votes are already in the bag. In the media, just pumping Carney and downplaying Bolivar. It happened to O'Toole. It happened to Scheer. It's going to happen again. As soon as you don't stick to your right wing sentiment, then you're going to get crushed. You can't come to the middle. And of course, what happens if PP does manage to win a minority? Well, I mean, the Liberals and the NDP are going to gang up on him. They're gonna do a non-confidence vote immediately and get him removed. That's going to happen. Have another election. He won't last probably a year. He needs a majority. And the way I see it now, I don't think he can get a majority. Now, I know some people are going to get out there, Chris Regas, and are going to tell me how he can do this. And I hope they do, because I just don't see a path for him. Unless he goes totally opposite and says, we're going to get a Doge, brings up Kevin O'Leary or somebody. We're going to get Doge. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to make sure, this and that. And he's got to do it right. Right. He's got to be right. We're going to lower taxes. Doge is going to find efficiencies. We're going to give 20% of the efficiencies back to the Canadians. Right? Because that's what's happening in the United States. And even in the United States, with Elon Musk doing all that, they're burning down his dealerships. They're burning his cars. They're doing everything they can. They just did a huge cyber attack on X. And they're mad at him because he's trying to save taxpayers' money and give money back to taxpayers. But it's not the taxpayers who are mad at him. It's the left-wing radicals who are stealing the money. Their money supply is cut off. The slush funds are cut off. And Doge is going to give everybody $5,000 back as a Doge dividend when they get the money that they save. So this is, I think, where PP's got to go. We'll see if he does it. We'll see what his strategy is now, because it's a whole new ball game with Carney. Whole new ball game now. We'll see where it goes. Hey, over to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And Hamel Machine Company has been around since 1948, serving local industry with their machine shop. Local industry cannot survive without machine shops to fix the stuff they need fixed. And they can't wait. They have to shut down production to wait for parts coming in from all over the place. So what do? They go to Hamel Machine Company. They say, look, this is what I've got. Can you fix it? And if they can't, can you re-engineer it? Can you make me another one? They can do that, guaranteed. They have the right people on the right job to be able to do that. But it just doesn't apply to industry. It applies to just guys like you and me. I need back gates for my backyard. I want to put a set of gates across. No problem. Go to Hamel Machine. They'll come and look at it, draft them for you, design them, build them, weld them up. And if you're really nice, maybe help you install them. They'll get them powder coated for you. Whatever you need, they can help you with. Anything at home lawnmowers, whatever you need, any equipment that you have that breaks and you need it fixed, they can probably help you out. They could probably help you out. That's what they do, and they've been doing it since 1948 in Niagara Falls. Go to their website. Just Google Hamel Machine Company, and you'll see their website and the brilliant stuff they do for wineries and agricultural products. They ship their products all over the world, and these are things that they've invented and innovations. Hamel Machine Company, tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you if you go down there, but for all your needs, definitely check them out first. And support our sponsors because they support us. Okay. A great post shared by Chris Regas, speaking of Chris Regas this morning, regarding the tariff situation and how our goofy leaders are testing and threatening Trump. Why can't these people understand that Trump holds the cards and Canada is a minor player? I mean, is that so hard to comprehend? We have 35 million people, they have 350 million. But they're egged on by these chest thumping politicians. They're bringing the 51st state scenario closer, not protecting the country. In a tweet by Trump, he says, despite the fact that Canada is charging the USA from 250% to 390% on many of our farm products, Ontario, and he's talking about Ford, just announced a 25% surcharge on electricity, of all things. And you're not even allowed to do that. Because our tariffs are reciprocal, we'll just get it back April 2nd when we put more tariffs on. Canada is a tariff abuser and always has been, but the United States is not going to be subsidizing Canada any longer. We don't need your cars. We don't need your lumber. We don't need your energy. And very soon you will find out that we don't need anything Canada has. Make America great again. And it really does say it all. The U.S. really doesn't need whatever we have. No matter what these fools tell you, who maintain that if we cut them off, they're going to go broke, they're going to be on their knees. No, they're not. They're already starting to configure their power grid to accommodate their citizens in the three states Ford threatened to shut down. And once they rejig everything, there'll be no need for Canadian power at all. And we'll be totally out of the mix. And they won't buy any from us. Then it's all going to be other goods as they ramp up their production to meet American needs. We can't win this war no matter what economists and politicians tell you. And people think the United States don't produce any power. Well, they do. They produce lots of it. But you know what? They buy it cheaper from Canada than they can produce it, especially with the dollar and everything. So they buy it from Canada. They don't have to. They produce lots of power. And who are we going to sell our power to if the United States drops out? Name somebody. Who? I'm an owl. Who? China? Africa? Europe? We're going to put our power over to Europe? How are we going to do that? You know what that's going to mean? Shutting systems down, shutting power off, and laying people off. We need the United States to buy our power. You can't store power. You make it, and it goes somewhere. Ford starts flipping switches and cutting it off. They're just going to flip their switches and turn it back on. That's all they're going to do. And then once they figure out that they don't need us, then it won't matter. Oh, yeah, people may have to pay a little bit more for power. But what they'll do is they'll bring more stations online and the price will come down anyway. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So go ahead, Ford, flip off your switches, see what happens. See what happens. And I just don't get why there's so much hate from Canadians. I mean, this has been hovering over their heads for a long time now. They've been taking advantage of the United States for a long time. And the United States just hasn't done anything about it. But now, since, the United States is $37 trillion in debt, and they've got to get that debt down, now they're paying attention with Doge in there. And this favorable deal for Canada is going to come to an end. Now we're going to have to go it alone. We've squandered any advantage we've been given. We've squandered our money, giving it away, trillions away to other countries. We're in debt 1.5 trillion as a country. And we've opened our borders, let our country be taken over by invaders. We have no Canadian identity left and have become a drug and terrorist corridor to the USA. It's all coming to a head. And rather than work with Trump to solve our problems, they defy him and become the enemy. I don't get it. They're playing right into the 51st state scenario. At some point, we are not going to have a choice. It's going to happen. Ford, Trudeau, and now Carney are on the path to destruction, something I always believed Trudeau was trying to do anyway. I mean, his preference was dealing with China and the communists. He loves communists and dictators, let's face it. These politicians are right in the final chapter. They're right in the pink slip if they keep it up. There's very little discussion on this post with Canadians thinking this is going to bring the U.S. to its knees. That's all they thought. They didn't discuss it all. Oh, we're going to take care of those bad Americans. It's not gonna hurt the U.S. Canadians are going to be kicked to the curb completely, and then it's going to be over. And I think Canadians want a trade war with the U.S. I really, really think they want it. Speaking of Bob Better, there he goes. Hamel Machine Company. And so I mean, it looks like they want a war with the U.S. They think 35 million is greater than 350 million. They think that 2.14 trillion is greater than 27.72 trillion. And they think they're going to crush the U.S. And as long as they have this convoluted thinking and keep up their rhetoric, the trade wars will continue, and Canada will be the loser. It's the way it's going to happen. The way it's going to happen. And I want to totally apologize for a lot of the shows about tariffs. There's a lot of real angry Canadians out there that just don't use logic and dwell on Orange Man bad, even though our politicians are really to blame, not Orange Man bad. He's just doing what he has to do. It's how the Canadian politicians are working it. I mean, the first Trudeau fell in love with Castro, and he was basically a communist, and the whole country's been run by communists for a long time. I mean, we were actually eyed back in the 60s as communists. We were eyed by the U.S. in 9/11 as some of the terrorists came across the border from Canada. And then you had the Lackawanna 9 or whatever they were called, and the guys trying to blow up the railway bridge. I mean, they're here, and the United States knows it. And Canada has been labeled by Trump as a threat to the U.S. because of the failure to close their borders to illegals, possibly terrorists, and fentanyl. The RCMP said there's 4,000 labs making fentanyl in Canada. That's from the RCMP, run by organized crime. I mean, so yeah, it's a problem. It's a big problem. So Canadians should be asking why it took a foreign leader to make their leaders stand up and be counted and take care of the border and take care of fentanyl and take care of illegal aliens. I mean, these illegals have been affecting our lives for years. High crime rates, high taxes to pay for food, lodging, and maintenance. That's what we're paying. We're paying for all that for the illegals. Comes out of our pocket, taxpayers. Housing crisis in Canada, homelessness and addiction. It all blends in together. Now, I know people say it's not the immigrants' fault. Well, I have to agree with you. It isn't the immigrants' fault. It's the politicians' fault. We've offered them everything, and they've taken advantage of it. And I don't blame them. Why wouldn't they? It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't. So the blame is directly on our government for sure. But the social ills from their lax policies have created the other problem that Canadians have to face on a daily basis. We don't want tariff wars. That's the bottom line. We have to clean up our act. Get the 1.2 million people on expired visas out of the country. Get the 50,000 student visas holders that never attended a day of class out of the country. Round up the illegals and criminals and deport them. Take all the refugees who come from places unknown, Palestine, Gaza, Africa, and send them back. I mean, there's no more wars over there, and that there's no war. They can go back and help rebuild their country. And it isn't a joke anymore. We're seeing every day in the news. Look at the bar that got shot up in Toronto, 12 people injured. Nobody will say who did it, but I mean, it's all over. It's always over illegals, guns, and drugs. That's what always is the main thing that ties everything together, whether it's the jewelry smash and grabs or anything. It always has to do with illegals, guns, and drugs. So you want to blame anybody, blame our politicians and our leaders. They're the ones who are guilty. They're the ones who are guilty. We got to fix this up, baby. We got to fix it up, baby. Come on. We got to fix it up. And, blaming Trump and more tariffs and cutting off the booze and everything else that Ford says he's going to do and Carney says he's going to do. I mean, no, that's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. I don't have control. I'm just telling you. I don't think it's the way to do it. And you may disagree. If you do, comment. Come on. Give me your comment on this. How do you think you should handle it? How do you think they should be handling this? I know a lot of people say they're doing it right. Eye for an eye. They want to do that. We'll fix them. We'll raise it more and cut them off and cut their power off. Yeah, shut it off today. Don't even threaten it. Just do it. See how they like that. That's your stand, and you think that'll work. Go ahead. Go ahead and do it. Now, just staying with the United States theme, Trump wants to abolish the IRS in the U.S. That's right. No more IRS, no more taxes, no more income tax. Americans are going to keep all their hard-earned money, and Trump is going to do it by making foreigners, outsiders, pay for access to the 350 million U.S. market. That's right. You want to do business in the U.S., you have to pay. As well, he's going to give people that want to immigrate to the U.S. and start a business easy access by offering a $5 million gold green card. So, yeah, you can get a green card to come in and open a business, but now he's going to offer you a gold card that takes away any kind of limits on you. $5 million, you get in, open a business, and away you go. You can set up shop in the U.S., the whole 9 yards. No red tape. Just open it up. All you have to do is be vetted and not be a criminal or a terrorist, of course. Now, the U.S. figures that they can attract 200,000 businesses to set up shop in the United States and have access to the huge American market. Interesting. Do the math. 200,000 times 5 million. Way too many zeros for me, but I think it's over $1 trillion. I think it's over $1 trillion. Yeah, it's a lot of trillions, probably. But, when you look at it, not to mention the taxes they'll pay and the jobs they'll create. So that's even a bigger thing as well. You do the math. It's huge. Whether it's 10,000 or 200,000, it's huge money. President Trump seems to be doing it right. He seems to have it going on. The American people love it, and they're getting ornery about it. Except for the Democrats, of course. They're all against it. They all hate Trump. They have TDS, and they're doing everything they can to undermine Trump and even Elon Musk, who is there for the sole reason to make America great again. He said he's got 100 people working on this, and they're volunteers, not even getting paid. He's not getting paid. And he's having to put up with these hassles of them burning down his things. He has to have security guards now, and same with Homan. Got to have security guards because of these left wing groups that want to kill him. It's ridiculous. He's saving Americans money and he's going to give some back to them. And they hate that. How can they hate that? Doesn't make sense. But they do. That's how dingling they are. So I just watch, keep it up. And I just wish Canada would follow the same path. I mean, it doesn't mean we have to be American to be able to save taxpayers and Canadians money, save them taxes, give them a Doge rebate. We can have Doge. We don't have to have a United States to do that. We just get a guy like Kevin O'Leary in to check everything out, save money where he can. He'll eliminate a lot of the programs. But first of all, we got to have a prime minister who will allow it. And Carney won't, because it's the left-wing people who are benefiting from all these slush funds and these payments. There's always kickbacks going to everybody. A lot of people will probably shock you and be shocked in Canada if they found out. But first, we have to have a prime minister. So all I can say is, I mean, I love Max Bernier. That's the guy I would vote for. But realistically, he's not going to win. He's not going to win. He's the guy we need, maybe, but he's not going to win. So we got to make sure that Pierre wins, and he wins by a majority. That's all we can do. Otherwise, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. It's going to even be worse because this guy's smarter than Trudeau and knows how to work the systems even better. Anyway, that's it for Trash Talking Tuesday. I think I've trashed enough people and talked enough trash. But I will see you tomorrow with Habsolutely on 4680Q. That's my show tomorrow. And with Straight Talk Thursday, I'll be in here. And maybe I'll get Chris Regason. He was doing a lot of talking online. He knows what he's talking about. He can address some of these issues as well. You can get another perspective on it, how things are going to go down and what they're all about. I think we need that on the show right now. There's just way too much talk and way too much my opinion. We'll get another guy in here. Anyway, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, in the studios of 4680Q. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Company. They support the city. They support the show. Let's support them. Don't forget to subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, some comments, and a limerick. Don't forget our limerick. Come on, give us some limericks, your funny limericks about the city, about the city council. It doesn't matter about anything. And I started you off. There once was a mayor named Jim. Surely you can figure out the rest of it. Take care, everybody. God bless you. We'll see you on Thursday with Your City, Your Voice. Tomorrow with Habsolutely if you're a Habs fan. And that's it for today. God bless you all.